Hey guys, welcome back to my channel one more time. My name is Preet and you're watching Info at a Glance, your very own immigration ease, where you watch videos and you become boss of your own immigration. And today I'm back with another video. This is gonna be an addition to my student visa series and we will be talking about the spouse open work permit. So before we start, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, then please consider doing so and do press the bell icon for all the latest updates on Canada immigration. Now, coming to the topic, talking about the spouse open work permit, this is the most important thing which comes in mind for any applicant, be it it's a mature applicant or a new applicant, to consider whether they want their spouse to accompany them within the country or not on an open work permit. Now, that comes with a few complications and few important things which all the applicants should actually consider, considering the fact that immigration is very smart and very skeptical about judging the marriage if it's bona fide or not. We will discuss all the important aspects on these grounds, so stay tuned till the end. Now, from immigration standpoint, it is important to understand what is a bona fide or what is a legit marriage. Considering the fact that for our country, especially for India, the spouse open work permit, the approval rate for this particular category is somewhere between 40 to 50% only. Now, with that being said, we're going to discuss this particular topic in two segments. One, wherein a marriage is already a mature marriage, which is an old marriage, and the second is a new marriage. Now, when I talk about a mature marriage or an old marriage, let's take an example. Somebody who got married like 3 or 4 years back, or let's say even more than 1 year back, and at the time of applying for application, they have all the required documentation and proof that they are legit as a couple, they are good to go. Now, when I talk about legit as a couple, there are a couple of things which an applicant should actually consider in terms of documentation. Because for spouse open work permit, the documentation list is not specific to a marriage, it's not specific to an application, it is specific to an individual or an applicant. When I say an applicant, you have to have the complete proof of your marriage, starting of your relationship till the time you are applying for an application. Now, when we talk about documentation, we are talking about n number of photographs for the complete relationship tenure. We are talking about all the cohabitation proof wherein the applicant and the student, as in the couple who was staying together post their marriage. We are talking about all the legal documentation as well. For example, the marriage certificate, if they have any joint accounts or not, or if they have any kind of mutual investments or not. We have insurance documentation. And the most important part is the cover letter, which is written by both the applicants, which fills all the odds within your documentation, so that the immigration officer can determine whether the application is genuine or not. And this may also be accompanied with an interview, wherein if an immigration officer feels that the documentation is sufficient or may not be sufficient, but yes, an interview is required, and you may receive a letter from the immigrations that you will be asked to attend or give an interview with the help of an interpreter if you are willing to take, or if not, if you are firm with your language and support, you can definitely go with that. But yes, considering the fact that you might be called for an interview as well when you apply for spouse open work permit, it's actually considered a good thing, because in interview you can speak about your relationship, you can speak about yourself, but be sure to go well prepared, be sure to go well handy with all the documentation you have submitted in your application, along with all the photographs and proof. Only hard copy, because soft copy will not be permitted. Now, apart from the authenticity of the marriage, there is one more thing which is very much important for these applications, and that is the establishment of spouse. Now, for an example, if you are submitting an application for a spouse open work permit, and if you are not working at that point of time, that means you have no establishment, it is not recommended to apply. It is necessary, or I would say mandatory, for a spouse to be working when he is submitting an application, or he should have a continuous or a regular source of income when he is submitting an application, supported by a legit amount of proof of funds, which is to be shown to immigration at least 6 months. That is the bare minimum time frame, at least 6 months old proof of funds, liquid cash in your bank account when you submit your application. Now, how much funds you require, that totally depends on your family size. If you are just a couple, or if you are supported with a kid, then it totally differs. But yes, if you want to take a reference of that particular proof of funds, that can be a little close to the proof of funds which are shown in the express entry, because that is again considering a family size only. So here also you can take a reference and go like 10 to 20% plus minus, but that's an approximate range which you can say. it is very much recommended for an applicant to show how genuine the marriage is and if the marriage is legit or not. Also, for the establishment part, the proof of funds and the source of income is genuine and continuous or not. And the most important part, the entire documentation which we are discussing and the entire process which we are talking about has a complete genuine approach or not. Why? Because if they sense even a slightest of doubt when it comes to such applications, the application will be and definitely will be refused. The reason we are stressing so much on these particular documents is there's only one reason behind it, because the immigration understands that there are marriages happening within India which are not considered genuine marriages. The marriages are only happening because one on the applicant side has to migrate to Canada and they're finding a way out. I mean, there are n number of examples which are available in stories, and there are n number of examples which are available right now for immigration to understand and believe that there are a lot of fake marriages happening, and that is only because one of the applicant is eligible to go to Canada and the other one just wants to hop along and get eligible so that they can at least reach Canada, and there is no intention of continuing the marriage on genuine grounds. Now, the most important question which comes in mind is whether you should apply spouse open work permit with your spouse study visa application or not. Now, if you meet all the requirements and if you meet all the criterias and if you have a mature marriage and if you have the other documentation and everything in place, it is very much recommended that for you to apply with your spouse in the same application, because if everything is good, you don't have to worry about anything. But if there is a slightest of doubt, especially for a new marriage or wherein the cohabitation is very much in question. I'm talking about marriages which just happened 2 or 3 months back and the spouse is now sitting in Canada and the applicant is sitting in India. Now, these are considered the dicey situations wherein an applicant has still a lot to do in terms of homework, it still has a lot to do in terms of creating more strong cohabitation with the spouse. So it is recommended to wait, let the spouse come, let the couple stay for a while, let them at least establish a cohabitation together before they actually start an application process and show it to immigration that they are a married couple, because it is necessary, it is important, and it is very much required for immigration to believe that the marriage which they are showing, against that they are claiming the spouse open work permit, the marriage is 100% genuine. Because if they find it dicey, if you find it skeptical and they have a slightest of doubt on these particular grounds, they are simply gonna refuse the application. And if you have used any kind of a false documentation, then believe me, it's gonna be a refusal with a ban, which is called misrepresentation. So if in case you are planning to take an application like that, and if you are still failing to prove your cohabitation, then it is very much recommended for you to start creating that establishment from now, because you will be required to submit a lot of documentation when it comes to these applications. Get your spouse documentation updated in terms of all the legal documents which are for India. Now, for an example, passport or Aadhaar card or bank statements, have a joint account, keep all the documentation and bills with you, and click as many pictures as you can, because we are not talking about just 15-20 photographs, we are talking about thousands of photographs. If you can submit it, there is nothing better than that, which is going to give you a good establishment in terms of your relationship. And if you want to discuss your complexity with me, you are more than welcome to do so, because I will be available on my Instagram handle. The barcode is on your screen, which is info@aglance21. You're more than welcome to send me a message and I'll revert back with my availability. So that's all for today. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and do press the bell icon for all the latest updates on immigration. I will be back next week with another amazing Canada immigration update. Until then, see ya.